Looking to level up your spearfishing with some more advanced techniques? Open water hunting is unique and challenging and takes the sport to a whole new level. It requires patience, new techniques, and additional bits and pieces of gear. The major difference with open water dives is that we're generally targeting much larger fish. It's not the same as targeting those small to medium fish around the rocks. With these larger pelagic fish, we really need a spear gun with a lot more power. This is where we really need to start looking for a much powerful spear gun, like an invert roller with a longer barrel and a lot more rubbers to be able to get the most powerful shot possible. We're going to also need much more heavy duty float lines and floats to make sure that fish doesn't pull down your float or cut your line on the reef. For example, our tuna tamer float line and float. Finally, with open water hunting, we're going to also need a flasher to attract our fish. I'll speak about that a little bit later. The first technique we're going to discuss is drifting or drift diving. These dives are usually around bommies or fads and are a great way to target pelagic fish while boat diving. To do this, you're going to need an open site with a slight current. What you want to do is line yourself up on the far side of the bommy or fad before entering the water. The goal once you enter the water is to ride the current and drift over the specific area you're targeting. Once you reach the end of the section, the captain will pick you up and take you back to the starting point, and you'll repeat this again. The main advantage of drift diving is that you find larger pelagics hunting in those currents. You also cover a much larger area because you're swimming with the current rather than against the current, and that means you're not exerting too much energy. Now you also find larger fish such as marlin chasing down bait balls and schools of fish. Now these bait balls move insanely quickly and are very hard to spot. The easiest way to spot a bait ball is actually to look for swarming seabirds or seals, which are also often found hunting the same bait ball these larger pelagics are. It's difficult, but you need to figure out what direction the bait ball is moving and predict where it will go. Your mission then is to position the boat ahead of the bait ball's predicted path, enter the water and wait for the bait ball to approach your position. If you do it right, the bait ball will bring the pelagic fish right to you. Trust me, it's not as easy as it sounds. Another open water hunting technique is using a flasher. A flasher is an aggregating device which helps bring fish to the flasher. Now a flasher is basically a float, monoline with mirrors attached, a small squid at the bottom, and also a heavy lead. So when we're going out blue water hunting, we release this flasher. We try to put some burley amongst the flasher. That will bring in smaller fish. When smaller fish are around, generally the bigger fish will follow. Finally, what happens when you catch those larger pelagic fish? Well, I can tell you personally, it's nothing like catching those smaller rockfish. They are very unlikely to die in one shot. Conversely, they are likely to run and fight it for periods of time up to an hour long. Landing the shot is often the easy part. However, getting the fish onto the boat is usually where the battle begins. After you land the shot, you're going to let go of your spear gun. If you hold on, you're going to be taken for a long ride, possibly underwater. Grab onto the float line or float and wait for the boat to get close to you. Jump on board and chase the float. You may need to try and intercept the fish and land the second shot with another spear gun, or you have to wait for the fish to tire out. When I said it's a battle, I really meant it. As the fish starts to get tired, it's time for you to start pulling up that float line. Now we have some float lines out there for larger pelagic fish, like the tuna tamer float line. That float line has a dual shark clip system. One shark clip attaches to the float. The second shark clip is basically like a clutch, where what you want to do, if it's over 100 or 150 kilo fish, you want to pull up meter by meter. And every meter that you pull up, you're locking off that float line. Once you get in range, you'll either want to get another spear gun to go for that second shot, or use your dive knife to finish off your catch. From here, swim your fish back to the boat and you have your family dinner for weeks.